Well, I was born in Philadelphia, and at an early age, they took me back to Puerto Rico. By the time I was like, I think 8 years old, they took me back to Philadelphia. And then I stood there until I went back to Puerto Rico in 1980 for 5 years. So, but I've always, been back and forth.
He's the product of a bicultural upbringing and a multi-generational musical influence.
I started playing the trombone in Philadelphia when I was around 13. That's when I started to play. Well, I come from a very musical family. My grandfather, my uncle, my father, they were all troubadours, what they call Troubadours in Puerto Rico. Troubadours, the music from the mountains.
Trombonist Papo Vazquez has made a lasting contribution to a genre of music called Afro-Latin jazz.
The music from the mountains of Puerto Rico is called Jibaro music. So there's like there's different, I guess like three or four different schools of music in Puerto Rico, or more. There's probably more, but it's like La Bomba, which is the music of our African descents that we play mostly in the coasts of Puerto Rico. Then there's La Plena, which is a derivative from the bomba. Then there's La Danza, which is a derivative from the contradanza that came from France. And then there's the Jibaro music, which is the mountain music.
Like the tough streets of Philadelphia, where he grew up, his music has soul and grit.
Well, the music that we play there's a lot of elements to it, the jazz element, the Afro-Puerto Rican element, So when you throw all those things together, it could give it depends on the composition. Some of it is real hot. Some of it is real cool. It's evolved after many years into what you're going to hear now. The first jazz records that I received were a present from a very good friend of mine. His name was Jimmy Purvis. It was the first record was Blue Trombone by J.J. Johnson, and the second record was John Coltrane, Live at the Village Vanguard.
Mario Castro, also from Puerto Rico, plays saxophone with Papo Vazquez.
I met Papo because I messaged him on Facebook, actually, when I moved to New York, saying that I wanted to play with him. And that's basically how we started. But I know of Papo since I have memory of listening to music. Like being raised in Puerto Rico and hearing about him and hearing him on records and on the radio. Playing with Papo is like playing with an old soul. He's much more experienced. He's much more experienced. He comes from hanging with the people that that I listen to in the radio. Like my parents listen to in the radio. It's like instead of reading a history book, it's like being inside the history book and listening to him talking about the stories and everything and how they perform. Even how he performs today is very, very roots. I do many different exercises to maintain stability. Cardio and stuff like that. But in all honesty, it's like when you're in the middle of something really intense. The adrenaline is there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how you feel, or it's just in the moment. You just feed off the music. Let's make fire in the moment,
Papo's trombone talent gained the attention of Hollywood, too. He's been cast in 2 films.
Well, the breakthrough was it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that was given to me by Spike Lee's dad, the great Bill Lee, who composed the score for the movie More Better Blues. And when I'm on camera with Tito Puente's orchestra on the Mambo Kings. Does anybody know what huracan means here? Can somebody yell it out? Hurricane! hurricane. That's the indigenous word.
This year marks Papo's 40th anniversary in the music industry. And with this performance at the Kennedy Center as proof, he'll be blowing audiences away for a long time to come.
Most important thing that we hope for is for our style of music to be recognized all over the world, Afro-Puerto Rican jazz. Good night, guys.